Today we are going to discuss some portion from Poetics. Poetics by Aristotle. You have to know this is the first criticism of the world. From human record, we do find that Poetics is the first literary criticism or this types of criticism ever. Aristotle did many things. Poetics is one of the best works. Okay, today we are going to discuss many things. We are going to read some portion from the chapter 15 by Aristotle. Here we are going to learn what kind of character Aristotle wanted to install. Then we are going to get the idea of tragic hero. This is very much conventional way of understanding tragic hero, and there are some exceptions in later part in America by Arthur Miller with the death of the salesman. Definitely I'm going to talk about that. And the conventional structure of drama, what kind of drama we read. Usually in literature we do find these types of things that people usually learn what kind of character it is, what is it, the theme, summary, these types of things, literary things. But make no mistake, play or drama is a performing art. It's a total performing art, and for this reason you have to know how to set those things, how the characters stand in the stage, how they move their lips, and how much they are going to use their vocal tone so that all the audience may hear. These types of things we have to bear in mind to perform play. But in literature in Bangladesh, usually we don't have any theater. Sometimes students try to make some portion from a drama or any play, the one they like. And we are going to talk about the unity of action. Unity of action, and what is it we are going to discuss. And then we are going to understand the composition. What is composition? Compose, how all the characters is going to stand in the stage. These things we are going to discuss. And another thing is reaction of audience. If it is comedy, definitely the audience would laugh. If it is tragedy, definitely the audience would become sad. If it doesn't happen, then that piece is failure. That piece is definitely failure. If in comedy audience do not laugh, definitely the play is a failure. In this sense, in tragedy, as we are reading Sophocles' great play, King Oedipus, and if you do not feel, that is called catharsis. We are going to discuss in later. So it's a big chapter going on. We are going to discuss its cause. So at first, I am going to give you the name of two books, In Gram by whatever, or an essays Butcher. There are many translation of Poetics. You are going to read one of these. No matter what, but I prefer essays Butcher. If you don't have that book, ask me and knock me inbox me. Definitely I'm going to give you the soft copy so that you may read. I have both copies. You can take it from me. So essays Butcher, his language is very much lucid, and we are going to read chapter 15 from Aristotle, and there we are going to understand what kind of character usually Aristotle wanted to be displayed in the theater. Okay, here is the chapter 15. You have to understand the thing is that chapter 15. Okay, and I'm not going to read all the portion. As you have the text, I have given you the PDF copy. You may read it alone, but now I am going to read some important portion from this place. So the most important, it must be good. Then he's thinking about a good character. First, the most important, it must be good. There are four things he's talking about. In respect of character, there are four things to be aimed at. That means to portray a character, for a character to be displaced, he's talking about four things. At first, he's thinking about a character which must be good, and the second thing is to aim at is property. There is a type of manly valor, but valor in women or unscrupulous cleverness is inappropriate. Okay, so the thing is that here is the discrimination we do find in Aristotle, as it is written 2500 years ago almost. And for this reason he did think in this way, that the valor is the only condition of male manliness, not female. And he straightforwardly said this is inappropriate. You have to understand the biasness of Aristotle. And Aristotle is a great author, great scholar, but he is not above criticism. We can criticize anyone. We can criticize Tagore, we can criticize Nozrul, we can criticize even Homer, or I do usually criticize John Milton. I praise him a lot, but I also criticize him. So the first thing is that the character must be good. And the second thing is that you have to understand the property of the character, whether it is man or woman, women, no problem with that. If it is man, so they need valor or not, but you cannot apply that valor to the woman. Okay, we are going to the next slide. Thirdly, the character must be true to life. Oh yes, that means that's why we say literature is the reflection of life. Usually people say literature is the reflection of life, but they do not know the source where from it is taken. But now you know, must be true to life. This is the talk of Aristotle. Thirdly, character must be true to life. And the fourth point is consistency. Yes, this is the major point. And I still praise sometimes Aristotle for this types of wittiness, this types of tremendous attitude towards characters like this. That the fourth point is inconsistency is still right now in play. This is one of the major points to be followed by the playwright. Suppose he had given us a couple of examples. Menelaus, do you know Menelaus? Menelaus is the brother of Agamemnon and the husband of Helen of Troy. You have heard the name. Menelaus is the husband of Helen. Okay, Mycenae. Menelaus is the king of Mycenae. In a play, example of motiveless degradation of character, we have Menelaus in Orestes, of character indecorous and inappropriate. And Aristotle thought in this way. That way, in the play Orestes, Menelaus was represented. It was indecorous and inappropriate. It is totally inappropriate. Menelaus is a king. His attitude is kingly. But if you cannot give him the kingly dialogue, if you cannot give him the proper attitude of a man or valor, then that character is a failure. And that is called consistency. If you cannot do it properly, then the character becomes inconsistent. And if the character becomes inconsistent, the character is going to be a weak character, not the proper one. And for the consistency of character, you have to understand Shakespeare is the master. And the thing is that in the lament of Odysseus in Scylla and the speech of Melanippe of inconsistency, and the Iphigenia arose. Iphigenia is the daughter of Agamemnon, and Odysseus is King Odysseus, for whom Homer wrote Odyssey. He finds these types of things. For Iphigenia, the suppliant of no way resembles her later self. Okay, so the thing is that, so he found in those days, that means in couple of plays like Orestes, Scylla, or all these types of things he had seen, he had understood all those things, and he found couple of inconsistency in the character. So the thing is that we have to understand the consistency of the character. Suddenly you are showing a character is a faithful, and suddenly you are showing the character is a liar. But you cannot portray what kind of character it is. It is a clever character, it is a witty character, or if the character is good or the character is bad. A character cannot have all kind of qualities. And suddenly you are putting all those things with inconsistent manner. So the thing is going wrong. So you have to understand the character must be good. So the thing we have learned here, the most important, the character must be good according to Aristotle. Second thing, that property, you have to understand what kind of character you are going to put inside the character. Number 3, you have to understand must be true to life. Must be true to life. That means the reflection of life. You should not bear something total fantasy. And another thing is that fourth point is consistency. While portraying character, you have to understand, you have to be consistent, you have to be true to the character as well. Okay, is there any question? Ask me. And when are going to read this portion, this is a big chapter, you are going to read yourself, but I'm going to discuss one thing, is that deus ex machina. Deus ex machina means Dux means Lord, or X means from, or Machina means machine. That means God from machine. Dux ex machina, God from machine. But what kind of machine? That means while talking, discussing play, he had used this kind of technique usually used. What is it? I want to show to you. Yes, usually in Greek play they used this types of crane. Suddenly to display God. Suddenly God appeared from nowhere. So to display that God is more powerful, God had some miraculous attitude, they used these types of crane. This crane is called machine. In Greek theater, machine means this crane. Deus ex machina. If you want to use this pattern in the Greek tragedy and Greek tragedy, definitely you have to use this machine. If you are going to show the God, you cannot use here any human being. Only this crane is used for God. It is told by Aristotle, and usually if it is necessary or mandatory, you can use these types of things from different part of the play, or use this way. In a play, we find Socrates was sitting above the cloud or on the tree, and here was a man, his name is Euripides, he was talking to Socrates. These types of things also used in ancient time. They are very clever. Do not treat them like this, that in ancient time they did not know much about it. It would be grievous fault. Okay, so you are going to read these types of things. One thing you have to understand, Aristotle said these then are rules the poet should observe. So try to understand one thing here. He had used the word poet. Now usually we say playwright, fictionist, short story writer, but in ancient time, even the playwright was also writes were also called poet. They were just poet. Even in 16th century, Shakespeare never said, "I am a playwright, I am a poet." That means it is the business of a poet to write poem and plays. Kalidas was one of the greatest, one of the greatest in ancient Sanskrit. He was also a good playwright, but he never said that I am a natyakar. Rather, he said I am a kavi. So it is very much important that you have to understand while reading ancient text. Don't get puzzled like this, that whether they are poet or playwright. If they are said poet, definitely they are both poet and playwright. Okay, so this is the chapter 15 we discussed little bit. If you want to read more, read it, or if you have any question, ask me in your next class or somewhere else. No problem with that, I would answer. First, read the text. So this is the Poetics 15. Here we are going to get 4 characters and some rules how to apply the play. Okay, so now we are going to discuss a little bit about the tragic character or tragic hero. But what is the opinion about tragic hero? I have given a quote of Aristotle: "A man cannot become a hero until he can see the root of his own downfall." That is the most important line by Aristotle for the tragic hero. You are going to quote it in your exam with starting that a man cannot become a hero until he can see the root of his own downfall. So that definitely Oedipus is going to see his own downfall. Okay, so I'm going to discuss now the conventional way of conventional structure of drama. Conventional structure of drama It's not mandatory that the play must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 or 7 acts. There is no necessary. But if we think that the play is in 5 acts, definitely we can this use this structure, and you are going to show this structure writing this graph in your exam, that the examiner would be clear that you understand it. At first, the exposition in Act 1, the rising action in Act 2, and before Act 3 or in Act 3, the hamartia is going to happen. And before the end of Act 3, the climax would be its highest rise. And then it's the total rising action from here, and the text would begin to fall. Here we are going to reversal of expectation, denouement. In Greek we say denouement, or then we are going to see anagnosis and resolution. What kind of term they are, I'm going to discuss here. Exposition and denouement is written here. In next slide, definitely I'm going to talk about it. If you read the, I hope you have read As You Like It by William Shakespeare. Have you? As You Like It?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in As You Like It, you are going to find that in Act 1, you are going to see Orlando, Celia, Rosalind, but in from Act 2, it goes higher. The rising action begins because all began to run towards the Arden, towards the forest Arden. So here in this way, a text rises. That means we do not know that someone or some characters are running towards something or looking for something. Here we would understand that when the rising action begins in Oedipus, Oedipus would make haste to find his own identity or the criminal who killed Laius, and it would give him a hamartia. Hamartia is a tragic fall. I'm going to discuss in next slide. Okay. So the characters of tragic hero. That is the graph of it. This is the graph of a conventional drama. This is, and here we are going to discuss characteristics of tragic hero. At first, according to Aristotle, the character must be noble birth. Try to understand noble birth. Noble birth means not either king or queen or kingly. Who has kingly status? Who is aristocrat? That means the first character of tragic hero is noble birth. But nowadays we are not going to follow it anymore. Make no mistake, we are not going to follow it anymore. There is no boundary that the tragic hero must be noble birth. It is the definition of Aristotle. In ancient time it happened. Number 2, hamartia. Hamartia, akia means acknowledge as. Hamartia, the tragic flaw. Hamartia means tragic flaw. That means when the character is going towards his downfall, it is called hamartia. And here the character would make haste. Here the character would be too much quick to discover his own fate. Number 3, peripeteia. Peripeteia I discussed in my last class. It's a reverse attitude. Okay. Then the 4th is anagnosis. When you are going to discover your own status, that means you reveal the truth. And then the catharsis. Catharsis is another important thing. I told you with the starting of the class. The audience pity, the audience worried or audience anxiety towards the tragic hero is catharsis. If it is comedy, the audience must laugh. If it is tragedy, the audience must be sad or cry. If it doesn't happen, the piece of literature is a weak or failure one. So we are going to, if anyone asks you what is the definition of tragic hero, you are going to discuss 5 points, and usually or frequently these questions come in the exam. Number one, noble bird, Hamartia, Peripeteia, Anagnorisis, and Catharsis. You are going to read it later in any kind of book, or I would help you to find. Okay. So now we are going to discuss unity of action in Oedipus King. I gave you this graph earlier, but here it is little bit in details. So we are going to discuss here. We are going to discuss here from the very beginning. We are going to discuss the disposition, how the text is disposed. The text is disposed here, and then we are going to the rising action. Here this point is rising action, then the peripeteia, then the climax, then the fall, then the big fall. So you have to understand, in play, in tragedy, it would be a big fall. If the fall is not big, if it is or the sudden fall from the big height. Suppose if this man is the one of the noble characters, but suddenly he found this is the worst, this is the downtrodden character, and definitely you are going to understand that it is going to be a big fall of prestige. Big fall of prestige, it is called catastrophe. Immediate catastrophe, these types of words usually we use. Okay, so first try to understand. First, one thing, oracle. Then I told you there are some problems with Oedipus, and he did not. He had no kingly attitude, and he was overzealous, and he was very much confident. So at first we find the murder of Laius, and Oedipus put curse on murder of Laius, and the Tiresias accuses Oedipus. This is the thing. This is here the rising action begins. This is the exposition. This two portion here you understand. This is the exposition. But here when Tiresias accuses Oedipus, here the rising action begins. Then it goes higher and higher. Oedipus and Creon quarreled. Tiresias blamed Oedipus. Then Oedipus blamed Creon. Try to understand. Without blaming Tiresias himself, Oedipus found another thing is that first he blamed Tiresias blamed Oedipus. Oedipus blamed Creon, and he also attacked Tiresias, in a sense that he told that you have a great conspiracy with Tiresias, the blind Tiresias. And the Jocasta tells the story of murder of Laius, and the mention of 3 roads makes 3 roads means crossroads. Oedipus suspicious because he killed an old man with some soldier in the crossroad. That is the thing. He became a little bit suspicious. Oh my God, is it me that I have killed the King Laius, but I did not know whether the man was king or not. Then you are going to understand the messenger arrives from Corinth. Polybus, okay. Then here peripeteia. You have to understand the peripeteia, reversal of fortune. I told you peripeteia is a reversal of fortune. And when the messenger arrived, this is the climax. But because messenger is the only eyewitness, he would disclose whether Oedipus is the son of Laius and Queen Jocasta or not. So here that is a big problem for King Oedipus in the climax. Then the big fall, we would know he would tell all those things, and he would discover all those things. All will die. This is a graph. If you remember this graph and write in your copy and practice it, and in exam definitely you are going to use these types of graph, and the examiner would understand within a blink of eyes that you understand text. Okay, and it is not for this text only. When you are going to read William Shakespeare or Ben Jonson, Christopher Marlowe, or Arthur Miller, all are going to follow this structure. That this structure is universal. Okay. We are going to move to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to talk about composition. Now I'm going to talk about composition. What is composition, and what kind of thing we usually do to display. So one thing you have to understand, where this one is King Oedipus. Can you understand? Can you, are you convinced this man is King Oedipus? Someone talk.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. He's Oedipus. One thing. This is the main focus. You have to understand which one must be focused. Look, there are plenty of dramatic personalities are here, but some characters are total visible. Look here are the characters. You can see their face is called in theatrical term is profile means face. Here you are watching his profile, but here you look, you can see it. This is Jocasta. These three maids, you can see only their profiles, because they are not important, they are less important for the scene. But who is the most important character here? This is Oedipus, and Oedipus would be in front. There is no chance you are going to show your back unless with special necessary, or look, these characters, I don't need this character. I don't need this character, but they're standing to give us lively attitude. So this is composition. Who is going to stand where? Who is going to take what kind of attitude? What kind of facial expression? You have to understand, or you are not going to understand play at all. Okay. So this is the director's eye. Stage composition. I'm going to talk about director's eye. When directors display these types of things, he try to always target the emphasize the character who is most important in the moment. So who is most important character here? Definitely Oedipus, and one by one Oedipus or Jocasta, then his daughters. In this way, from stronger to lesser character, he is going to display. And another thing is that you have to, when their body position, how they are going to stand. The strongest character, full front. Strongest character is going to show you your full front. Here you can see the Oedipus is showing the full front. Here the Tiresias is showing the full front, because they're the strongest character. Okay, and the thing is that second story, the full back, but special cases you are not going to show your back, but if it is necessary. Third strongest character, 1/4. 1/4 the weakest character, profile means face, I told you. So suppose you can see this character 1/3. This is 1/3. Jocasta 1/3, and the daughters 1/3. In this way, we usually are weakest character is profile. Weakest character, profile. So these characters are weak characters, these characters are weak characters, and these characters are weak characters, because we can see their only profile. In this way you have to understand play. So now I'm going to show some other slides so that you may understand. Okay, look, when they are going to be banished, Oedipus is going to be exiled, because he is the killer of Laius. So he is going. So look, these characters, we can see profile only profile here, 1/3, 1/4, but here the Oedipus is full front. So he is the strongest character. You have to understand from the slide. Okay, now look, this is the ancient. In ancient time, usually people don't have a facial expression. That's why they used to wear mask. They used to wear mask, and for this reason, so here not a single character you are going to see full front. Only Oedipus is full front, and audience should understand this is the strongest character. If you have any question, ask me. Okay, so here another thing is that, look, this is the strongest character. Only profile, 1/3, 1/4. That's why all may understand this is the major character. But one thing you have to be clear. By no means you can hide their face. You are not going to. Here someone is crying. That's why she is hiding her face. But by no means you are going to hide any character's face from in the stage. If it happens, that is going to be a blundered display. Okay, Another thing in this character we're going to see, when this is the condition of peripeteia condition. Oedipus is here, he understood, oh yes, I have committed all these things. And here, look here, you can see the full back of the character. But what kind of character here it is? Here Oedipus discussed, here Oedipus is in front of the Sphinx, and he is too much proud because he solved the answer of Sphinx, and that's why he is too much arrogant, and he knew that Sphinx is going to fall from up, and it is going to be dead right now. And for this reason, he is holding his two hands in his loin or waist. So, and it is very much arrogant character, and proof you can see here the full back of that character. So the time is almost over, but we are going to join soon. After that, you are going to join. And if you have any question from up to this slide, ask me, and later I'm going to discuss the reaction of the audience, and definitely after that I'm going to talk about Arthur Miller and how we are going to solve the how we are going to change our outlook towards tragedy. Okay, if you have any question, ask me, and I will end this meeting, but after that you are going to join soon because the class is not over yet. But if you have any question, ask me. I'm going to take one question because we don't have even 2 minutes. Any question? No question?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's okay. When the time would be over, you would join again, because they are not allowing us more than 40 minutes. There is some reason we have. Okay. I hope you have understood the text, and
Yes,
definitely you are going to, this class is going to be very much useful to understand other play as well. Okay, so the class would be end, and but you would join again.